It is getting so dang out of control and messy between some of these MAGA or former MAGA or right wing or whatever figures. We keep up with this, but I have some big updates for you. So we're going to walk through, obviously, you have this internal right-wing civil war over the aftermath and quote-unquote investigation into Charlie Kirk's assassination. And this has been the epicenter of the right-wing discourse right now, is whose side are you on? Candace's side or TPUSA's side and Erika, and then Tucker's having to jump in, Ben Shapiro's jumping in, everyone's jumping in. And I want to show you a bunch of different things, starting with the latest on what Candace has been up to. The AmFest, the Turning Point USA event, is going on. So I'll show you some moments from Erika Kirk's thing, and then I'll show you Ben Shapiro at this event, Tucker Carlson at this event, the latest wild and fantastical theories from Candace. First, here was Erika Kirk entering AmFest. Some people say have a heart of gold. I'm known around my own house when I'm alone as a guy with a heart of gold. No. Some people say that. I really try. And y'all know, I've actually got in trouble at being as empathetic as possible. I don't care because it's the correct stance. But can we all be normal people and say, what the hell's going on with the pyro? Podcast listeners, she walks out to 89 gazillion. What was the thing Trump said? 1,000 million billion fire shooters, which is cool. Maybe I'm jealous. I wish every time I went on a stage, wow. But I'm not even going to explain the meme because, again, I'm uncomfortable with all of this. And this is more like, hey, look at all the stuff that's going on. But because it's just such an uncomfortable topic and sensitive and heartbreaking and crazy and weird. But let me just say, people share with a certain caption WWE videos. People also share Michael Jackson in a stadium going, and the whole crowd going, ah! And I don't know why they're sharing that in reference to that. But point is, AmFest is going strong and such. We'll look at her speech in a second. But you then have, okay, I'll say more on that in a second. Here's Candace Owens after she met with Erika Kirk. You know what we need? We need them to do a public meeting. Because they did this privately. It needs to be public. It needs to be on the White House lawn. It needs to be UFC. And it needs to, because that would match the pyro. And it needs to be in the left corner at this many pounds. I'm not going to guess. You have Candace. I'm just asking questions always. Bah, 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 bah. Or like a Kanye song, probably. Probably. And then in the right corner or whatever, north entrance, you have Erika Kirk. Not gonna think of it. Okay, so we have so much, guys. Stick around because we gotta look at AmFest. We got all these things. There's too much. And as always, despite the sensitivity, we're gonna do our best to smile through it.
4.5 hours.
So this was after her meeting with Erika.
4.5 hours later, I'm alive. I'm totally fine, and I'm sorry. I was going to do a show for you guys this evening, but I am truly exhausted. Very productive conversation. I asked every single question. I mean, from Egyptian planes to Turning Point USA faith, And I was very surprised by some of the answers that I got. And I think they were also very surprised when I shared certain intel. This probably should have happened a very long time ago, but I wanted to let you guys know that I am alive, and I will have the full rundown for you guys tomorrow of what transpired. And yeah,
So all of it, the way Turning Point USA has been handling their PR with Candace, the way Candace has been out there saying stuff like that. What do you mean you're alive? What do you mean? Erika was gonna... I mean, say what you will. And I have some things to say about Turning Point right now. And Erika goes out and she endorses JD Vance. And so we can both have deep empathy with anyone of any political views whenever someone's horrifically murdered that they loved. And we can acknowledge she's now using Turning Point to get Vance elected. So both can be true, that now I need to be critical. And can we not skip over with both Candace and Erika? They both told the whole world that women shouldn't be in leadership positions, which I don't believe. I think that's insane. That's what they said. Now she's running one of the largest political organizations in the entire world, making big endorsements of political figures, leading this, which again, totally fine. But she's the one who said that wasn't what women are supposed to do. And then Candace Owens, take this down for a second, is selling a book called Make Him a Sandwich. How often is she making anyone sandwiches? Her butlers are making her sandwiches. She's one of the largest podcasters in the world. That's called being a boss. Now, because I'm a guy, I won't say the second half, but it's like a boss me, you know, like in a positive way. I'm a boss. I'm a leader. I'm a go-getter. I'm a career pursuer. But she's telling other women, go make him a sandwich, get back in the kitchen, barefoot, pregnant, kitchen, submissive. Mommy, right? She's saying, mommy. Be a mommy, which we love mommies. But if mommies also want to be bossies, they can do it. Or if people don't want to be mommies, they don't have to. Or if they wanted to be a bossy for a while, then be a mommy and then go back to being bossy. But that's not what Candace is saying. That's not what Erika is saying. They're both out there telling everyone women are getting in too many leadership positions. They shouldn't be leading anything. Their job is to make a man a sandwich. And then literally, I bet George Farmer, her husband, is the one making her a sandwich, which again, fine. Not by her ideology. And he makes a terrible sandwich too. And maybe this was a grift so that right-wing men would go, yes, the reason I don't have a wife is because women don't want to make sandwiches for me anymore. She gets it. Look, she's sitting in front of a plate. As she's running a business selling you that freaking book. The irony. She has nannies. She's not taking care of her kids all day. Fine. Not according to her. Make him a sandwich. I like burgers better. Okay. Okay. So it's just, do you get my point? I hope that came through clearly, because it's hard to have been so scared away from such criticism because of the sensitivity of the related topic, and then to go, who am I? A little wee boy? No. Not today. I'm not that guy. Okay. So then this.
For both 2026 and 2028, we're investing in states and not just in races. So what I mean by that is we are building the Red Wall, Arizona, Nevada, New Hampshire. That's going to be very important to us. We're going to ensure that President Trump has Congress for all 4 years. We are going to get my husband's friend, J.D. Vance, elected for 48 in the most resounding way possible.
So they're endorsing JD already? Well, this is the one. Candace has said a lot of BS. One of the rare areas where I said, was it is putting the public in a pretty tough situation when understandably you have a little bit of a shield, correctly, and I'm not saying wrong, of grief, right? Your heart, your family. And so to be lobbing like you acted weird or you looked weird or your tears were weird or your like eyes were weird or like any of those things, it seems inappropriate fairly because it's like, what? She just had her husband murdered. And that puts us in a tough situation when, and then at the same time, you're going, my husband wants JD Vance to be elected. And it's like, okay, well now I'm with you on part one, heartbreaking, terrible. Now on part two, no. I mean, now you're just a leader of a major organization and completely separate from the tragedy you've chosen to lead. And now as a leader, you're making a terrible choice and you have to be opposed politically. And I think that nuance is possible. Now we check in on Candace's show. After her meeting with Erika Kirk, she got a bunch of her followers mad. I don't know why. They all of a sudden got really... No, I do know why. Why did I say that? What? I just meant like, it shocked me. I didn't know why. I know why now. I'm going to tell you. You don't know why. Which is that she changed her tone, I guess her fans were feeling, and that they think that now Candace is being blackmailed or got the call or is capitulating. And so I'll show you some of those comments in a little bit. But first, let's watch her parts of her episode after her meeting with Erika Kirk, where, if you missed some of this, the quick rundown is Candace has said that it wasn't Tyler Robinson who killed Charlie Kirk, or at least he wasn't acting alone. And then went on a whole conspiracy theory arc about how all these different countries and entities and individuals and security people, TPUSA staff, are either complicit in the murder or complicit in a cover-up of the murder for some reason. And it's like gotten way connected all over the place, all over different things in this wild way. And it really made Erika Kirk mad whenever Candace started saying TPUSA needs to be opposed because they are complicit in Kirk's murder or the cover-up of his murder. Now, the reason you see me trying to pick my words wisely is because she specifically does this thing where she goes, TPUSA was complicit. And they murdered my friend Charlie Kirk. And you go, oh my gosh, she's accusing TPUSA of killing Kirk. Like who in TPUSA? And then she goes in an interview and they go, so you said TPUSA killed Charlie Kirk? And she goes, no, I said they were complicit in a cover-up. And that someone, they meant someone, not TPUSA specifically, someone killed my friend. And you're like, oh, okay. So then wait, who did what? And it's like, I didn't say, I'm just asking. It's like, well, do you have a theory though? It seems like you're kind of asserting certain. I want to know what you are saying so I can see if it's true or not. If you're just like throwing out a bunch of spaghetti at the wall, I don't know which noodle to slurp up, right? And so then they said, let's have a meeting because now this has gone too far. And they did have their meeting, and this was a part of her follow-up to that. While we watch it, please do, if you appreciate the show, click the subscribe button. For some reason, every time I weigh in on this topic and I do what I normally do, I try to have a heart full of love, but a fist full of power. What does that mean? Shut up. People get mad at me. Everyone's all weird on this. So please do click the subscribe button to counterbalance the people who will click the unsubscribe button.
Okay, you guys are crazy. You guys are absolutely crazy. The amount of people who attacked me for sending out a tweet being like, hey, I'm good, I'm alive. We had a very productive conversation. And they were like, she got the call. She got the call. She's betrayed us. She's doing something else. I can't believe it. This has all just been a show. Calm down, okay? What do you think happened? Well, Erika said, stop. And then I was frozen for 4 hours and 30 minutes, just like, as they just put all of these talking points into my head. That is not what happened. I keep telling you guys, I am not governable. I am basically akin to Kanye West. I never felt more seen than when he tweeted a lot of years ago, just fired my manager because I realized I can't be managed. That is.
Aren't you supposed to, by your worldview, be managed by your husband? Not mine, yours. I don't know. I'm confused. But also, yes, we love it. You can't be managed. So true. I am ungovernable. It's just, what are we doing? Okay.
Me, that tweet right there, I was like, oh gosh, yes, Kanye, that I get this. Okay. Nobody is changing their mind anything. How ridiculous would it have been if I'm doing all of this, investigating, asking all of these questions, and then Erika Kirk offers to answer some of these questions, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to go. I can't betray the people. I don't want any answers to the questions. I just want to ask them. No, this is the entire reason we are doing this. We've been looking at the situation going, why can't Turning Point USA just answer basic questions? And I can tell you guys that yesterday for 4 hours and 30 minutes, there were no rules. They said you can ask us any question that you want, anything that's on your mind, which I appreciated.
So again, this is the fair part this is the most fair thing I've seen her actually do, which is actually go ask them. You could have a long time ago. You have to have Erika's phone number, right? Weren't you best friends with them? So you could have asked her if you had questions, and should have. And then if there was something sus there, then you would know. But if it's being thrown out and not actually pursuing it, seems confusing. And so she actually did go to the meeting. Good. What's funny is not to her followers. They got really mad. Because you can hear she has a little bit of a positive tone about it. Productive. They let me ask anything. And I'll show you more clips. But let me give you a sense of the type of comments that we saw. A lot of them will be saying, I'm not a bot. And that's because at one point she says, yeah, a lot of the negative chatters saying that I got the call or that I'm now in on it, which is crazy. Getting all your followers wound up that there's this international government's in on it. TPUSA is in on it. The Macrons are in on it. And getting them all wound up. And then you make one misstep and now they're like, is she in on it? and you betrayed us. And so she said, oh yeah, that's a lot of bots. So then a lot of them are going, I'm not a bot. Like this person, Jenny, I'm a faithful fan that's been supporting you for years. Don't teach us to be skeptical and to make fun of us when we're skeptical. Thanks. But Jenny, you do also have to get answers eventually. Like, let me pose this because some of the people in my audience, and hey, still love you. But we're going, oh no, there is this bigger conspiracy. It was Erika did it or Trump did it. Or just remember, you have to be, just like I'm open-minded to, if evidence came forward that I found convincing that were true, I would have to change my mind. So I'm open-minded. I'm not certain it's Tyler Robinson. I just want the trial to proceed. That's where they actually get to present their evidence. They don't just make it all public before to protect the integrity of the trial. That's the process. And so then in the trial, they say they have a lot of evidence. I've reportedly heard DNA and video and parents and stuff like that. Then they'll present it. But you have to be open-minded if you're believing alternative theories to that actually being demonstrated and your theories being disproven. But a lot of the chatters, as Candace still perpetuated a lot of her theories, admitted that she did learn a few things and that she did adjust a few of her stances. Just her closing the book on a couple of the things she's thrown out. She's thrown out 100. There's still plenty. But a couple of things makes them go, no. Because often it's not really about getting a clear answer with clear evidence. So then someone said, German viewer here. So all of the people who are frustrated about her not answering a single question are now bots. She talks to for 4.5 hours with Erika and we don't get any real answers. And then we get gaslighted when we are frustrated about it. For me, something shifted yesterday and I can't hear her anymore. Now it feels completely fake. I'm honestly sad. Post 4.5 hour interview looks like Erika Kirk is definitely off limits now. Someone said, you have more screenshots of chatters. Okay, I knew she was going to pull a switcheroo and trick us. She said she doesn't think he did now, or what is going on? She can't maintain eye contact with her viewers. She's rumbling, stuttering, contradicting herself, nervous. And these are like the hardcore fans, right? Because a lot of them are saying she's not going hard enough on the issue. Something's off. Someone said, what did you and Erika talk about? We already know all this stuff you're repeating. What did you and Erika talk about? Candace is saying what Erika's want her to say, no, ma'am, not a bot. I'm very real. I've been a supporter of you for a long time. I checked some of the other posts yesterday, and those people expressing their disappointment, you are real. Stop the bot narrative when supporters share their different views and opinions that are no longer aligning with yours since Tuesday. So I guess the clips I'm showing you caused her fans to think that she wasn't giving enough answers on what happened in the meeting, and that she seemed to now be buying too much into Erika's stance. Shoo!
And some of you guys are thinking, who is they? Who is they? It's the Jews, obviously. Just kidding. It's Justin Strife. Justin Strife was in the room. It was just Justin Strife and Erika.
Yeah.
George joined me just for the beginning portion of the conversation because he had that thing going on that I told you on the 15th all day. He was in a conference. And then I brought my cousin Mia, the one that has a really bad attitude. I just bring her.
I can't hear that. I don't want to hear about Mia, your cousin with a bad attitude. Why is her attitude so bad? All right. So, then, who taught her manners? Why is it so? It's just ridiculous. Okay, then this.
Not get this from everybody speaking about this Mikey McCoy call log. I know that you guys did not get this. I did not get this. I don't know why she was disappeared from this. Like, you could go, like, the wife wants privacy. No, she was like, main stage at the memorial, has been, I would say very involved in a lot of this kind of, I think it's very close that she's close with Erika. They went on vacation together. So I don't get this disappearing act. I found that to be like, okay, but they were forthcoming with it. That feels good. That feels good, guys. Like, wow, we don't have to guess. Now we have solid answers. And like I said, when you come out and give solid answers and you're not weird and calling people names and saying all this stuff, it allows people to go, okay, I feel a bit more like we can trust this process because we have communication. That's the reality. And so I wanted to update you with that. Also,
yeah, I mean, I'm not conspiracy brained, so I don't really interpret her vagueness as like, what did they say to her in there? They found out that George Farmer murdered a bunch of people and they got it on her. Now, I'm not saying he did. I'm just saying, if he did, they could blackmail her with that. But I get why, if you have that mindset and you're looking for something off, her going, it's so nice that they gave us answers, clear answers to my questions about the questions that I had that they gave answers to. You're like, what? Now, she did at different parts say they gave me this guy, Mikey McCoy's phone logs because we thought he was acting suspicious when he was on the phone, when Charlie was shot. So she did go through some specifics, but I guess the commenters wanted more about all of the things. But that's what's tough is I'm sure Candace can't even keep straight who it is that we're even investigating here. Who are we investigating here?
It's
and
Joe Biden.
Why was everyone in on it? Who? Can we just start investigating who wasn't in on it? That'll be a shorter list. Man, that was a good one. Wow, zinger. So here's this.
We're definitely gonna get this prosecution. But the reality is they don't actually share that information with the victim. They don't share that information with Erika. They don't, in this part of the process, they will not know what investigators have discovered. This is what the lawyer told me until May. Okay. They have not seen anything that you have not seen is what I want you to know. So with that in mind, I'm sitting here going, why are you signaling? Why do I feel like
Okay, so this part probably also bothered her followers where she's going, they brought a lawyer on the line to explain to Candace why the prosecution might be really confident about their case against Tyler Robinson. And that doesn't mean that they have shared everything with Erika, that then Erika could... Because if Candace is going, I want this, I want this, I want this, and the TPUSA is like, well, we believe that law enforcement investigated all these leads and is building a strong case, the prosecutor building a strong case, but it's not like we have access to every video angle they have, every DNA test, every confession or witness, or like, that's not all just shared with a victim. Normally victims find out about all of the nitty-gritty details as the trial goes along, and there's a bunch of steps that are taken with any trial like this for the sake of protecting the integrity of the trial and making sure you don't hand the defense a bunch of reasons to say they couldn't get a fair trial. The jury had already been tainted because all of the evidence was made public and people already made up the mind or whatever. That it's standard operating procedure to keep a bunch of the evidence private that then is brought out during the trial. So Candace is conveying that to her audience as the reason why they feel confident based on what the prosecutors are saying, but it's not like they could just give her everything because they don't even have everything that the prosecutors have because that's going to be made public at trial, which is not going to feel good if you're thinking there's more to it, right? You're going to be like, well, see. But that is actually pretty normal in this type of criminal case. And so as she's explaining that, even if she's not even saying she agrees with it, maybe her followers are going, what? No, And then you have stuff like this that I'm sure bothered them. She went, hey, when I said everyone shouldn't donate to Turning Point USA, I went a little bit too far. That was a little mean-spirited, which what drives me crazy is, first of all, don't donate to Turning Point USA, but that's for different reasons for me. But if they were in on it or covering up, that wouldn't be mean-spirited. So do you believe they're covering up the murder or they were in on it? Or do you not? Because if you do, why would you be apologizing for saying don't donate to Turning Point? Of course you wouldn't. They killed the boss, according to you.
They were sort of most upset with obviously a bit of a fever pitch, when I tweeted that it was a God-forsaken company and people should not give money to it. And I have to own that. That's aggressive. That is actually aggressive in the retrospect. I was very frustrated. And I don't know, I felt like we weren't getting any answers and there were so many lies. And then I was getting attacked for asking all meaningful questions that was within their capacity to answer. And I told you, I definitely, my problem in life is that I can rise to anger very quickly. I shared with them that I really felt like I was under attack for telling the truth from the very beginning, like casually, when I mentioned the Catholicism thing. Like, what was that about? I was like, look, I say something in a tribute to him. Alex Clark and Andrew Colvett then jump onto a podcast and they're doing that weird interview, which is clearly ad.
I think, again, I haven't watched all of her. I know some of you might be like, well, then you shouldn't speak on it. But it's like an hour every day. And this is going to be the Candace show? No, thank you. Sorry. But from what I've seen, that reference is to, at some point, she said that Charlie was getting more interested in Catholicism and was maybe, I don't even remember how she worded it, but like was thinking about converting. Is that the word? Something like that. And then some of the Turning Point associated people came out and was like, no, he never did. And then she was able to prove that he did have like an affinity for Catholic, something like that. And that'll be added to the list of like little lies they told. But to me, those are very separate topics. There's going to be a whole battle after someone gets murdered when they're a political figure about who writes their legacy. And I actually didn't have a problem with people arguing about that within the right. Like, it made sense to go, no, don't try to brand him this way or that way. And we want him to be seen as an emblem of this issue or that. And that's kind of what you do with even presidents and stuff. You kind of start battling out based on your viewpoints to make sure that their legacy supports your viewpoints. And sometimes people do that disingenuously. And I think people did in this case. And in some cases, Candace made a stink of it. But that doesn't mean they murdered him, you know? Like, that means they wanted his legacy to be, no, he was evangelical. He wasn't going to go Catholicism. What's all the fighting about with that whole thing? You know? It's like Catholicism, evangelical, Baptist. We all love Jesus, baby. Fixed it. No, I'm no, it's serious. I know it's serious. I'm just making a joke. But that kind of is a type of merging of concepts that I think confuses people and causes them to go, hey, yeah, they are lying. But that could be for a different reason than they knew he was going to get murdered. They're for it. Then you had her saying this.
Sorry, got cut off there, but I sense their panic, and we all sense their panic right now. And they're like trying to like push this last piece of the psychological operation, which is like, don't believe in any politicians. Even Candace has sold out. Like, Candace is sold out. She took the money. This is a mind game, and I am telling you, we are very close. Like, we are so close. I genuinely believe the feds were fully involved at every layer of this, and we're going to go back to Camp Huachuca, the Fort Huachuca, pardon me, Fort Huachuca in Arizona.
Camp Huachuca? Is she say Huachuca? Camp. I mean, Fort. Camp sounds like a summer camp. So, are we there yet? That's the question I should have been asking this whole time. Are we there yet? Because she says we're really, really close. And the feds are involved and we're close.
That story that we told that made the feds freak out in the first place. Like, this episode right here, you're going to walk away and you're just going to be like, you know what? Respect you, Candace. Respect to the game for holding things back.
Why are we all so happy? Can I ask that question? We're all, not we, but y'all are so happy right now, and it's getting me a little icked out. Isn't this horrible? Why is it like, tune in, and then firecrackers going off? We got New Year's Eve fireworks going off. And pyro on one end, and on the other end, tune in. You're going to say, respect the game is what you're going to say after this episode. All right. I'll see you there. Why is it like this? Imagine, you know how she always says, oh, this is crazy. You know how she always says, I'm doing an investigation. That's what I'm doing. If the law enforcement's not going to do it, and don't come with me with, also, you trust the Trump FBI. No, I don't. But we have a pretty dang great process to see. Doesn't always work. But with something this high profile, if law enforcement or Trump's administration, which is Trump's administration is very willing to be dishonest, obviously, was doing any funny business, you'd have lots of junctures where that would serve the defense very well to expose. So, and that's why we have this process, and that's why we have judges who aren't beholden to this thing or that. So, it's not about trusting the Trump administration to say that hopefully our process will work, and I trust it enough, or I trust our process more than Candace. But imagine if law enforcement handled this like she handles her investigation. Okay, alrighty. Welcome everybody to this press conference. This is going to be a big one. But tune in tomorrow. Our press conference tomorrow is going to be off the hook. It's going to be zany. It's going to be zesty. I don't even know what zesty means. That sounds sexual. It's going to be raunchy. And we're going to have some fun. Okay, we're going to have some fun. Because we're going to tell you person 100 who we think killed him. Like, why is the chief of police doing that? That was weird. Kind of, I think, illustrates the point. So I think the episode that she was saying was a big one was she brought an alleged whistleblower who seems very mentally stable onto her show to say that he saw, I think if I'm tracking correctly, we have a lot of topics we talk about on this show. I try my best to keep up with this so that when it comes up, I can at least know-ish what's happening. That he happened to be in Arizona at a military base of some kind, Fort Huachuca, or something. And so I'm being sorry. That sounded like I was making fun of the word. I just don't remember the word. Huachuca. I'm not saying it's a beautiful word, probably, and has beautiful history. I don't know. I just don't know what it is. It's not making fun of anything. And that he was at this place because he had a history and was mistreated when he was in the military, and then was going to get justice. He happened to walk up in a hotel lobby and then at the base and saw Charlie's head of security, according to him, thinks he saw Charlie's head of security meeting with a bunch of top military brass. And then guess who else he saw there? So the insinuation, I didn't say that, I was asking. Yeah, we know. But what you're saying is that the military, which I actually find this personally insulting. He said, the way that he said it and then she believed it is like a bunch of high-ranking military leaders were all in on this. I actually believe that someone would have blown the whistle on that, given how many people in the military that I personally know who have just such high integrity. But whatever, it doesn't mean you can't have someone who's bad in the military. You can, plenty. But it seems a little unrealistic that a bunch of whatever the ranking was that she said would be conspiring on this. And he says that what's being insinuated is that the top military leaders were meeting with Charlie Kirk's head of security to cook up a plan to kill him. But guess who else he added? He didn't say this originally. Candace didn't say this in her first podcast about what this whistleblower is saying. But now the whistleblower breaks the news during this podcast that he saw the lady. He saw a lady in this either hotel lobby or fort that he was at. And that lady had some very distinct blue eyes.
What other people? Other pictures?
If you want me to say, there's a picture of Erika Kirk with a ponytail, and from her past. That person matches who I saw at Fort Huachuca in the lobby the night before, and she was with that.
Huachuca, okay. See, right, good.
With that man in the lobby, and that man, he was present at that meeting the next morning.
If
So
you had to put it at a percentage that you saw that the girl in the ponytail matches the description of Erika Kirk, what percentage would you put that at?
those are really rare eyes. That's 95 to 99%. I can't imagine somebody else.
So it's all so tragic. So we're saying that now do you put on your glasses every time I put on mine? That's so sweet. I feel so loved and seen. And you're trying to steal my thunder. No kidding. And don't take them off. I like it. He's saying that Erika was at the fort, or the hotel near the fort, with the head of security, who then was seen with military leaders. Does she have Find My iPhone? Could she just show us a record that she wasn't there? Hey, does this make me crazy in this world where everyone wants to believe the most salacious thing? Does this make me crazy to say, I don't think that happened? Not defending Erika. I don't think that happened. Say what you will about the press tour. Interesting choice. The pyro. The endorsements. The running the org. Mannerisms. Some of that I think goes a little low, but say what you will. I don't think she was working with our top military leaders to assassinate Charlie. Don't think it. I don't like Turning Point USA. Erika Kirk and I are going to be on the opposite issue on everything. And don't think it. I just don't think it. And I don't think that this guy is exactly the most credible source. Sorry, thank you for your service. I don't think so. I don't think so. Maybe I'm crazy. Yeah, you know what I was saying about the mood? This is another example.
Which I will now refer to as the non-smoking gun, was actually discovered. I love the details. You know, I love details. I'm a detail-oriented person, and these ones are fun and curious, okay?
Fun? That's like, I think y'all would have thought I was being dramatic if I came on and said, I watched your episode, and she went, these details are going to be fun. It would seem like I was hyperbolizing.
Are fun and curious, okay? The oriented person, and these ones are fun and curious, okay?
Hey, when you love what you do, you don't work a day in your life, right? Okay, so then Tim Pool, again, reminder, you can't trust or respect many people in this whole story. So they're all just throwing mud at each other. I get that. But now Tim Pool's jumping in and going, I have seen a text message. Oh, oh, who's that? He's saying he saw a text message of Candace saying she hated Charlie Kirk shortly before the shooting.
Fact. I've seen the text. Candace was saying she hated Charlie Kirk 2 months before he was murdered. Okay, she was. And there's more to that story. And I just think the people who are, having the conversation with her need to come out and say it. A lot of people have sent me a lot of stories about Candace. Some of them are very, very bad. And I've not reported on them because it's more female-coded drama stuff. Like, there's one story that...
Female-coded? They're all so wild. Hey, Jaden, can I be back on camera? Thank you. I appreciate it. It looked like I was Tim Pool. Female-coded. They're all wild. So then you have this. Piers Morgan said, I think this is a big crock of shit. And confronted her.
And that is the reason why people are watching my show, because I'm the only one not treating them like they're absolute idiots who don't have two eyes and who believe in magic bullet theory and who understand that Egyptian planes should not have been tracking Charlie even 3 times this year would be an anomaly. They've been tracking him. We don't know where it's going to end, but we are going to keep asking questions until we get clear answers.
Candace, it may be that the person in the media spewing bullshit to the public is you.
No, and that is the reason why people are watching.
No, I love that. My sweet mommy was texting me, so I'm just sending her a little photo saying, Mommy, saying, talking about the Candace situation. Look at that, so cute. This is just, when you love your mom, you always answer, right? Or text answer. That's my philosophy. And then you have, what did he say? She's lying? Okay. Now this.
They thought they had the killer. It turned out to be the wrong person, right? It doesn't mean there's any great conspiracy by the feds to cover anything up. And again, even if what you're saying is true, I don't know, maybe you're right. If what you're saying is true, what is it they're covering up? You've so far intimated or inferred something weird involving Egyptian planes. So, what's that about? You've inferred perhaps Israeli involvement in some way. You've certainly inferred a lot of Turning Point USA involvement. That's a lot of people getting involved here in the murder.
That was barely half the list. Trump administration. France. She just dropped that. France. And there's even more. I forget them, but I think his own security team. That's kind of different than Turning Point too. That's probably an independent contractor. So military leaders. That's outside of that's not just the Trump administration. That's like military top brass. Okay.
Of Charlie Kirk potentially. But what I'm really curious about is, given you've been all over all this and you've been airing all these theories, well, which one is it? It can't be all of these things. Is it somebody?
Well, of course,
is it someone at Turning Point USA? I mean, who do you actually believe was behind this?
Of course, it can be all of those things. And what's really ironic here is that there's a clip of Charlie in the last months leading up to his death where he speaks about the JFK assassination. And he says that multiple countries were involved, multiple people were involved, the LBJ was involved, the feds were involved. And he's correct. That is what it means. When there is a conspiracy, there are multiple people that are involved. Of course, there's not one person on a grassy knoll who shot JFK.
What are you even talking about? The story. That's so funny. She's saying the conspiracy theories about JFK, which lost 10% of the audience. That one people love. They're just rah, rah. And she said one shoot on a grassy knoll. No. The official story. She's saying that was the official story. No. The official story was he was in a building. You don't even know what you're talking about. Maybe she misspoke. You can go walk up in like a little museum and see where he was in the building. I went there. Have you been there, Candace? Guess I've done more investigating than you. Next episode is going to be a fun one.
Of course, there's not one person on a grassy knoll who shot JFK.
Well, it might have been that.
There are people who had to agree to it. The Dallas police were involved.
Candace,
I'm answering your question.
But
You're asking, why aren't you just going to point to one person? That to me, even that seems like a part of telling people not to believe their own gut. Obviously, for this to have been pulled off, there had to have been multiple people involved. There had to have been people at Turning Point that were complicit in having this happen. Now, who knows what their motivations are? Doesn't mean maybe this person's like, hey, I'm going to help you.
Hang on. Okay, let me stop you. Hang on. When you say obviously somebody at Turning Point, you are accusing right now.
She just said, obviously, someone at Turning Point was complicit in this happening. Please tell me that you also hear that like I do, which is, okay, so she's saying they were a part of him getting killed. A few minutes later, she's going to go, I didn't say that. You freaking weirdo. Crock of shit. Oh my gosh. Hey. Try being American. I mean, come on. She's about to do that, literally.
People that worked with Charlie Kirk at the company he built, which is now run by his widow, you are directly accusing people in that company of being complicit in his murder, right?
I want to just be very clear connecting that dot. So I said that when there is a conspiracy, of course, there are going to be multiple people involved. So applying that same logic to JFK, right? Knowing, as I do and as Charlie did, believe that LBJ was involved, which then implicates the feds as having been involved, which then implicates the Dallas police station as being involved. I believe Israel was obviously involved. That they were the ones that wanted him dead for saying that what is now AIPAC should have to register under FARA. So there's motive. There are people that have to be involved on the ground that day. There are people that have to be willing to allow the perpetrators to get away. There has to be media that's complicit, and that's what literally Operation Mockingbird was. It was established
to persuade
the public.
Candace, here's the problem.
Well, hang on. It was established. So in this massive cover-up.
You keep saying, and this is where people think you're prone to endless.
I hope this is the part. If it isn't this question, I'll move on, because I was wanting you to see him go, so you're saying Turning Point killed him? She's like, what? Why are you saying that?
Conspiracy theories for whatever reason.
Okay.
Is you keep using the phrase, they have to have been involved. So by that yardstick, what you're saying is with JFK's assassination, and we recently had a lot of the...
Okay, no, then they're doing a JFK thing. So I think it took a while for them to get to him following up on that. But I'm just asking the audience, since some liberals now are saying they also think these theories are true. And again, the weird thing is when people go nuclear, it's like, I believe I'm being reasonable. You might believe you're being reasonable. I might think you're not being reasonable. And then they're like, I'm never watching you again. I hate you. And you're like, what? I'm just a guy. I'm just a guy doing the best that I can. And people are so mean. So please do subscribe if you don't feel that way. But are you really saying you believe everyone that was just listed there? Did you hear the list that we went through with Piers? It's more likely like hundreds of people, I guess, were involved than just one guy didn't like Charlie Kirk and had been around guns his whole life and thought he was going to stand up for fighting hate and shot him. And then his parents were like, that was him. And then he confessed in texts. Well, they were faked. Okay. Why? No one talks like that. Okay, so it's more likely that hundreds of people in all echelons of society, military, law enforcement, government, foreign governments, Turning Point, security companies, that all of them coordinated and it didn't get leaked at all. No one went, what are y'all talking about? I'm exposing this. Then maybe Tyler talks weird. Maybe a loser who killed somebody isn't the most normal. Did you see his photographs? Sorry. It's like maybe that's, to me, that's more likely. Then Erika has been getting tracked by Egyptian planes for her last few years so that one day they could do this, so that then Erika could run Turning Point just like Charlie did. Listen to that again. All of this was done so that Erika could run Turning Point, and now she's running it just like Charlie did. What exactly was this for? Why would they risk like going to war? I don't know if maybe that's a little dramatic, but like something crazy. For what? Now, if some random person took over Turning Point and like had totally different views or something, I'd be like, weird, you know? But it's like Erika. Like, she's going to be exactly like him, probably, with her views. She said she was more conservative than him. So, I don't really get it. Or, you know how in this country we have shootings like every day? You know, in this country, people always think violence, not always, often think violence is how they solve the problems. You know how in this country we have really easy access to guns, and a lot of people end up being lunatics and either kill strangers or try to kill famous people. You know how a random person, deranged person, killed John Lennon? Macron should be looked into with that, I think. Was Kash Patel doing things back then? Maybe he was in on it. That actually is all. It's pretty common, and it's funny when she goes, "Oh, what? You want us to believe that just one guy tried to kill someone?" And it's like that happens so much. Now, it was super notable given who he was and tragic and all that. But that actually is, yeah, someone tried to shoot at Trump. People have been arrested for trying to get Kamala Harris, for threatening Biden. You had, not going to say it, people try to block an election by being violent. You had a Democratic lawmaker being murdered. It's just mass shootings coming out of our ears. Yeah, that actually does seem kind of plausible. As opposed to hundreds to thousands of people across all aspects of law enforcement. They're inventing evidence, they're crafting fake texts, they're coordinating with governments across the world, they're getting embedded into TPUSA. Erika Kirk, they pull her off of a reality TV show, which is what she was doing before. Whenever she was trying to pursue being a feminist. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. Whenever she was a boss. I don't know. And they pull her and they groom her to be actually the secret agent of whatever. So that one day, a guy who did build a really big organization, but like it's not like no one else could do that, so that he would get murdered. I don't know. That seems less likely. A little bit. Some of y'all are going to be so mad. I don't get it, Jaden. What did I do? What did I do in a past life to deserve this, Jaden? All right. Candace did make sure to, or I think Piers brought it up. Anytime they chat, they do have to talk about a very special lady's pee-pee. And that baby, to use Dr. Oz numbers, is definitely 150K penis. Okay?
The reason I told the Alex Jones story is he did incredibly well out of Sandy Hook with his investigations. But as was established in the court case against him, brought by the families eventually, and I think we're going to see the same thing with Brigitte Macron and you, is that he...
Brigitte Macron. Okay. I've been trying to nail the pronunciation
eventually, and I think we're going to...
Because I called her initially Bridget McCran, and I felt like that didn't sound right. But then I nailed Macron. I feel like that's pretty good. Macron. And then I understood it wasn't Bridget. It was Brigitte. So then you attach them. Brigitte Macron.
See the same thing with Brigitte Macron and you, is that he was weaponizing deliberate lies for money. And I think you
Brigitte
did that.
Macron has a penis. I really want you to know that.
Brigitte Macron does not have a penis.
Brigitte Macron has a penis.
No, she doesn't.
I'm sorry.
She had 3 children.
Did she get it removed?
She had 3 children.
Yeah, you can have adoptive children. You can call somebody, but Brigitte Macron was born a dude named Jean-Michel Trogneau. Well, and I just feel, I want you to know that. I want you to know that Brigitte Macron probably stands peeing up. Probably pee stands.
Sorry, I love it. I love it. I love it.
Probably stands peeing up. Probably pee standing up is what I want you to know.
The beauty is we have a big...
Well, I pee sitting down. Does that make me a girl? Instant regret.
Yeah, I think Brigitte
we have
stands.
a big bet, and we're going to find out.
I sit pee down. Yeah,
because it's going to court, and you will lose that court case. I think you will.
We'll see. Maybe literally. Maybe literally we'll see if she's right or not. All right, then we wrap this jumbo. What are we doing? We're just having fun. Love you guys. We look at some of the AmFest footage.
You find out a lot. You find out who's going to pray with you when there's no words left. And you also learn some unexpected things, like the fact that Joy Reid probably needs a really, really good hug. And honestly, I'm here for it if she needs it. I got a good hug for you. Good hug for you. I'll even touch the back of your head.
She said it. She went there because of JD, remember? Ooh. And then she was like, they'd probably not been as bothered if I squeezed his butt cheeks. If I squeeze those little things like a couple cantaloupes. And I was like, what? Erika? It's sort of a conversation that happened. I have the text. I'm not going to share them because of privacy, but that I have them. Sue me.
25 countries represented plus Puerto Rico, but I have the list here. Don't worry, guys. Egypt is not on the list. Don't worry about that. But, oh, how funny. I say Egypt and my iPad turns on. That's fun.
This is all just, I guess, fun now. I don't know what happened. It's just now a big fun party. She's doing a little stand-up. I don't mind it. She's doing a little stand-up. Tucker also was at this event. So there was a lot of tension at the event because you had like Tucker and Erika, and Tucker's pretty pro Candace, but kind of pro Erika, and saying he doesn't believe the official story, but I like Erika. But maybe she murdered her husband, but like I love her. Who hasn't? And then you have Ben Shapiro, and Ben Shapiro's going scorched earth against all Tucker, Candace. And so they were all here and speaking at different times, which was fascinating. But here was some of what Tucker said.
Erika, who I just saw backstage, and whom I love, and who I can tell you is totally committed to continuing the core principle of Charlie's public life, which is the right of every person to express what he believes. That is rooted in Christian faith. We believe people should be able to say what they think because they have souls. They're human beings created by God. They are not slaves. They are not animals. They are not objects. You cannot tell another human being to shut up, even shut up racist.
No, you literally can. This is so dumb. Oh my gosh, I'm so angry right now all of a sudden. Shut up, racist. Who says that anymore? Like the whole racist thing, we all just like now, you know what we do? We go, he's like, oh, wow, okay, so black people, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I couldn't actually say something racist. So I just said like something, he said something about black people. But like, let's say he said something racist about a black person. The whole internet now is like beaten into submission. So we're like, I don't know. You suck. I don't know. What are we gonna do? Like the whole cancel culture is dead. It's gone. Y'all are out there just saying whatever you want to say. So that's number one. Get a new talking point. Number two is you literally just said we have a right to express each other. Have a right to express ourselves to each other. Getting tired. And so my right, your right to say I'm racist or whatever you're out there saying is as protected as my right to say shut up, racist. And so how do you not understand that?
Animals, they are not objects. You cannot tell another human being to shut up, even shut up, racist, because you don't own him.
You're so weird. He's so weird. First of all, yes, we all have a right to speak our mind. Yes, that's super important. No one should be killed for arguing their political views. And also, we can scream at each other and say, shut up. That's also free speech. And also, why do you always explain something in a weird way? You always do. Here's how I would say. You know how Trump is attacking the First Amendment by trying to pressure and attack media entities that are negative against him into submission until they bend the knee and do covers that he likes more, and how he's attacking his critics, literally trying to imprison some of them, and doesn't seem to have any regard whatsoever for our free speech rights. Well, the reason I think that's bad is because I think it is necessary in a democratic society for the citizens that have to choose the direction of that society through the democratic system to be able to express themselves within that society. Fundamental to what America stands for is people being able to express their views without fear of government retribution. And instead of saying that, like every normal person, Tucker goes, you know why we have free speech? Because we have a soul and we're not a slave. Yeah. And so we won't be slaves to masters. I am my only master. I am my only master. And sometimes the demon that visits me, a little bit. Not you, though. Because I have a soul. Because Jesus gave it to me. And you can't call me a racist because I have a soul? Why? Why do you word it that way? Weirdo. I'm not a slave? Okay. Ugh. Good job.
He is an independent, autonomous person created by God as an individual. Okay, so that's where that belief comes from. That's where free speech comes from. And there's no accident. This is the only country in the world that protects it because our founding documents were informed, as you just heard so nicely expressed by Michael Knowles, my friend, by people who self-consciously incorporated Christian precepts into their structure of government. So Charlie was committed to that.
Okay. Sure. Whatever. Yeah, free speech is important. So please speak out more against what Trump's doing that is very much against that. Then Ben Shapiro gets up there and he is using some potty words to call out Nick Fuentes and Tucker.
So, for example, if you host a Hitler apologist, Nazi-loving, anti-American piece of refuse like Nick Fuentes, you know, the Nick Fuentes who said that the Vice President of the United States is a, quote, fat gay race traitor married to a... The person who said that Charlie Kirk was a, quote, an idiot. The person who said, and pardon my language here, it's his quote, that he, quote, took Turning Point USA and it, and that's why it's filled with groypers. If you have that person on your show and you proceed to glaze him, you ought to own it.
Yes, obviously, I've laid out tons of debunking of Nick Fuentes' nonsense and covered his interview on Tucker Insane. And once again, why does Ben Shapiro annoy me? Why does everyone annoy me? He called him, quote, I effed Turning Point. And he means that not in the mess up sense, but in the sexual intercourse sense. Like, all right, bruh. Ben.